here we are once again. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah,
Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
Riffin with Griffin, baby.
What's up, y'all? Voice is a little scratchy today, but whatever. You know, you can't win them all every week. Today, big show. I got movie and TV reviews. NBA playoffs still. They're weed, hamburgers, just so much. You know what I mean? Comments, some of my favorite Instagram stuff, shows I'm going to be doing. So, hey guys, welcome back to Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah. Riffin with Griffin.
All right, the Riffin with Griffin intro was slow today. I don't know why my voice was scratchy. I didn't drink enough water this morning. But anyways, welcome to Riffin with Griffin. I appreciate you guys being here as always. So make sure you hit the subscribe. You know what I mean? Hit that subscribe button, y'all. It's, you know, just hit the, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe. You guys know Erik Griffin Gaming. I like to game. I'm trying to grow my gaming channel, but, you know, 30-something thousand followers, but I can only get like 100 people to watch at a time. Where is everybody? I don't know. So come check me out on there. Support me any way you want. You could be a subscriber there. You could be a member on YouTube. You could be a Patreon member. Yeah, here we go. Upcoming shows. You know, I got some upcoming shows coming up this week, y'all. I don't know if I say it right because somebody already sent me a comment about it. Like, say the name right, but I think it's Louisville. I don't know how to say it, but you know, I'm going to be at the Louisville Comedy Club this weekend, so come check me out there. Okay, so you know. There you go. You can go check me. These are some of the dates I have coming up, and some others are being added. So I was just at the Blue Room in Springfield. Great Saturday night. 2 sold-out shows there Saturday night. Thursday and Friday weren't as big, but they were still great. So anyway, Louisville Comedy Club, April 20th. Tomorrow, April 20th through the 29th. I'm sorry, 29th through the 22nd. And then next week, I'm going to be at the Mothership in Austin, April 28th through the 30th. And then I got some stuff coming up in June. Some May dates are coming, but I just don't have those on my site yet. So come check me out there, man. Come check me out. Okay. So let's get into some comments. Some people... you know, anytime you want to comment, you know, this on Instagram, but the comments on the YouTube page, you know, from all different types of episodes. I just go to this little comment thing on YouTube, and it's pretty cool. Scott Clark somebody watched the Steve Lee and I doing movie reviews from a long time ago. The guy said, Stevie is spot on. The Joker is a real one. When you've lived around people like that or lived through it yourself and you see Joker's pain, it's real pain. He did an amazing job. So that guy really, Scott Clark went way back on that one. Ivan SM, oh shit, man. When I watched Workaholics, Griffin was one of my favorite characters, pure talent. Now I'm glad that there is so much content where he is because I feel like every content that he's in, he's just hilarious. Thank you, Ivan. Oh, my God. Let's see. Bullets Michael with a terrible comment. Love you, brother. Potato head. Potato head. It's so stupid. Stupid Bobby. Now I'm going to have that forever. A lot of girls now are watching the Matt Rife episode. I'm going to have Matt on again, but so Iris Carrillo, why are you trying to press mommy issues to him? Like, damn, he just wants someone with life experience. Because Matt used to have this thing about older women. But anyway, Let's see. Okay, Coach Steve Money. The games, and this is when he's talking about Last of Us. The game's creators said of the game testers that 50% of the non-parents said they would have let Ellie die, but 100% of parents said they would have not. Interesting statistic. I don't know if that's true or not. Matthew DeJesus, Rob Lowe's show is pretentious trash, and I like Rob Lowe. Beef is the truth, and I don't care for her stand-up, but she's a good on beef. Okay, well, I shouldn't even read that part, but whatever. Matthew, he also said Succession is the best show in years. Anyways, so, if you want to send a comment, I will read your comments. And so thanks for being live, too, for the people that are watching me live right now. So please share, man. You know what I mean? Y'all got to share and, let people know about Riffin with Griffin if you like it. You know what I mean? You people that like Riffin with Griffin, you got to spread the word. You got to help me build the show. I know I'm on 200-something episodes, but I like my little show. If you've never been here before, I talk about everything and anything and everything. Sometimes I'm hilarious. Sometimes I'm introspective. Sometimes I'm serious, but I'm 100% authentically me. So thanks for being here. If you're a new person, that's what you can look to expect. If you've been here all the time, thank you. I appreciate your continued support. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. I've talked about this before, but you guys should see how messy my office is. Rachel and I are messy. Man, we're messy. And Rachel she's like, talk about zero fucks, okay, about stuff. Like, there's a box of crackers that's on like this table in our living room, like the counter table, and we like to eat on. We don't really have like a kitchen table. It's weird, right? So I had this little like table that like it folds up, so we eat on that in the living room because it's just her and I, right? There's a box of crackers that have been sitting there that anybody else would be like, okay, this goes in the kitchen. Rachel sees it every day. She don't even care. Part of me is I just leave it there because I'm like, I wonder if there's anything in her to be like, oh, these crackers should probably be in the kitchen. Nothing. I'm going to leave them crackers there. I'm going to leave them there, and I'm going to see how long. I'm going to give you an update. We're going to have a cracker update to see how many weeks those crackers are going to stay right there. Dishes. Like, I do the dishes, and I don't even like doing the dishes. So there'll be dishes in the sink. Like I'm about to go out of town. So when I go out of town, for sure, I take the trash out and do the dishes. Because if I don't do the dishes, if I don't take the trash out, when I come back, it's going to be like piles of trash around the trash thing. Because and I don't know. I think that's why it works. I think it's like, that's part of our compatibility is just really not, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm just curious to see where you guys are. So in the comments, so like even right now live, the people that are watching live, are you the messy one or the clean one in your relationship? Or are you both the same? Like, are you neat freaks? Are you both messy? Or is one messy and one clean? And I'd love to know how that works. Because to me, I don't think that can work. If you got a neat freak and a messy person together, that just doesn't, I can't see that working. To me, it just seems like a lot of fighting and it's a lot of compromise that you don't want to do. You know what I mean? So I'm curious just to see where you guys are with that. Okay. Last week I could be forgetting stuff, and I don't want to forget stuff that I want to talk about this week. You know what I mean? So let's not forget anything about this week. Let me just go right into some of these funny Instagram stories. First of all, okay, there's this dude on Instagram. I love this kid. His name is Waxin22. I think that's his name. You know what I mean? I think that's his name, Waxin22. But this dude is my spirit animal, man. So go give this guy a follow. I love this dude.
This video has no purpose. I just gotta show off my fine ass. Oh my gosh. Man, I'm blessed with a beautiful mother and a handsome father. And you know what they made? A sexy young man. What y'all know, man? Yo, what's up, everybody? This video has no purpose. I just gotta show.
Oh my god, that dude is a trip. So it's like Waxon_22. He's like huge on TikTok. He just like every time I watch, he's just got this like really great energy and this like incredible confidence. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I think people make fun of him, but at the same time, I think he just rolls with it and he just doesn't care. You know what I mean? So I love that kid. What's another? So some weird Instagram stories I saw is every blue-eyed person is a descendant of one single human. That's crazy. This is, on one of my favorite Instagram websites is Puberty. Every blue-eyed person is a descendant of one single human. That's crazy. And it says the person lived more than 6,000 years ago and carried a genetic mutation that has now spread across the world. I mean, a genetic mutation. So if you got blue eyes, you all are related. That's nasty. Just weird Instagram story. All right, so this was a good one too. I really liked. I don't know if I have this set up right where you can really see it good. Let me see. Let's see. This was a great little Instagram feed. It was like, overthinking is the biggest cause of unhappiness. It took me 9 years to beat overthinking. Here are 8 ways you can beat overthinking. And I thought these were some really cool. This is really cool thing. Oops, sorry. Let's go back. Here it is. Oh, here we go. Boom. Oh, you can't see it that well, but I'll just read it. The problem is rarely the problem. 99% of harm is caused in your head by you and your thoughts. I mean, that's so true, man. You just be thinking. Oh, and guys, thanks for the super chats. I'll get to your thing in a second here. Thanks for that, Joe Hill. He just asked like, how was it working with Adam Sandler? I'll talk about it in a little bit, maybe. And thank you, Jr1N. Thanks for the super chats. You guys are great. If you want to support me that way too, it's a great way to support me too. I appreciate that. So yeah, I think when you overthink, things are in your head, man. Avoid self-rejection. Don't think you deserve that opportunity. Apply for it anyway. Yeah. It's like, stop like making yourself feel like you're not good enough. I think that's great. I think self-esteem, that's connected to, have some self-esteem. It's like, those are the things that hold us back, right? Silence and time. The truth is, most problems aren't solved with more thinking. They're solved with less. Ooh, so true. Like, give yourself a beat. Like, give yourself some time and a moment to just really not think about it. Just turn your brain off. I think that's meditation or doing something that you love to do, or just find something mindless that you could just, because then when you go back to it, you'll be like, oh man, you know what? This wasn't as serious as I thought. I always think that's great in relationships when you're having a fight with somebody. Like when Rachel and I, we first started and we get into these fights, man, I would just leave. I had to go on a walk. I would go on a walk, then she would hit me up and then, and then it would be fine, That's one thing I got to say I love about Rachel is she is like, she don't hold on to things, and it is so hard to be mad at her. That's how I knew she was the one. Like even when we're mad, she got a way that can like take away all of my anger, like this, just with a smile, with a hug, with a little joke, and I think that's about this, When you start criticizing yourself for past mistakes or seeing disaster around every corner, is there anything I could do right now to change the past or to positively influence the future? If the answer is yes, do it. Take action. That's an interesting one. The power of now. You're not going to overthink your way to a better future. You're not going to overthink your way to a better past. Ooh, that's just being present, right? Be present. Fact check your own thoughts. Your thoughts will create scenarios in your mind. Oh, exactly. Like that's just about overthinking too. It's like when you fact check yourself. Make sure you're not saying something that didn't happen, or you know what I mean? You create things in your head and you realize, oh, that really didn't happen. That happens in fights all the time. How many times you fighting with somebody and then you go, you say, you said this or this happened, and then later you think about it and you go, you know what? It probably didn't happen that way. So that's important. Acceptance is peace. Yeah, I agree with that. Accept things. Health starts in your mind. Oof. I mean, so that's this was a great, these are some great Instagram posts that I liked this week. Yeah, there's the blue-eyed one. There's my dude waxing. Yeah, so, I had some good Instagram posts this week, man. That was the one from some of them from last week. So anyways, all right, so I got to the Instagram posts. Boom. We got to the comments. Boom. All right, let's just get to so the NBA playoffs are going on, man. I'm gonna go into it in depth as what I did last week, but man, NBA playoffs is so good. I actually can't believe how great these first round series are in the West. I think the East has the top 3 teams, but the West, these playoffs are crazy. This Clippers Suns first round matchup, that could be a Western Conference Finals. Like the way the teams are stacked. I wish Paul George was playing, man, because it really would be a much better matchup. And when someone's out, when a major player is out, you always think in your mind, man, this ain't this isn't the best version of the series. But it's a great series. Suns won game 2. They Clippers still look great. I think this is going to go 7, and I think my Clippers are going to win. They suspended Draymond Green, and that's another great series. Sacramento Golden State Warriors, the defending champions versus the number 3 seed all year long. They suspended Draymond Green for stepping on this guy. I've seen the play so many times. I'm watching a lot of sports shows. I've seen this Draymond Green stomp. Let me see if I can find it on, he steps on Sabonis. And Sabonis, pulls his leg, you know what I mean? Holds his leg, and then him getting away. Did he demonstratively step on him? Yeah, probably. But it's like, yo, man, you pulling my leg in a game, like get off me. I don't think he should have been. I think he should have been ejected. I think the other guy should have been ejected too. And then in the aftermath, they suspended him because of the excessiveness of it, and then his history. I think this is a terrible mistake. I think they're ruining the playoffs with this. These are the defending champions. We want to see them play. It's like, fine the guy, fine him $1 million or something, but let the guy play. I think that was a mistake. It was a real mistake, and I don't know who they doing this for, especially to not suspend the guy that instigated the whole thing. And the game before, the same guy held him in another instance. Held him, and then the other guy held his leg too. I mean, they goaded him into a big demonstrative response so he can get kicked out, maybe, and he did. So I don't know. I think that I'm not a big fan of Draymond Green either. I don't like him at all in terms of his game. I don't like his game. I don't like his attitude. It's not for me. Not to say that he's not great or whatever, but it's I just don't. It's not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? So whatever with that. And then, the Eastern Conference is kind of boring right now. These playoffs are boring. I don't think they're going to get good till the end. But the West, man, the first round, this is probably the best first round in the NBA playoffs that's been around, that's going on since a long time, man. So, keep checking that out. And even Denver's trucking along. People are sleeping on them, and they're the number 1 seed. So, NBA playoffs have been pretty exciting. So, just check that out. All right, check that out. Check it out. So I haven't seen John Wick 4 yet. Okay, I haven't seen John Wick 4. Have you guys? If anybody's seen it, let me know. Wait, let me do this. How do you do this again? I don't know how to do this. Wait, I'm trying to. I don't know. Wait, what's going on here? I'm trying to just every time I do this by myself, it's you know what I mean? It's like, okay, here we go. Open image in new tab. All right. Oh, why is it so little? Man, it's always something. See, I'm trying to do this so I can show you guys, just to have it on the screen. But look how little that image is. Anyways, I haven't seen John Wick 4 yet, but I'm probably gonna see it this weekend when I'm out in I'm out in Louisville. But in anticipation of watching John Wick 4, I watched John Wick 1, 2, and 3. Man, this dude kills a lot of people. You know what I mean? This guy, this dude, like, he must kill like 300 people in every movie, And so, like, if you're one of these people that's like, oh, violence is terrible and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, it is what it is, right? But it's so much. Like, I often think, like, where are they getting all these henchmen from? And, like, how can they replenish them? So, anyways, I just want to recap John Wick 1, 2, and 3 real quick. Because it was just, like, very fascinating to me. Like, these are actually great movies. Like, and it's a great story following this guy through all these movies. Like, Keanu Reeves, when he was Neo, except for this last one, which was hot garbage. This new Matrix that came out, hot garbage. Anyway, forget it. But there's something that's great about him, that you could follow him throughout stories and root for him no matter what kind of character he's playing. There's something, he's got that thing, man. Only few people in history have that thing. He got that thing. It's just something endearing about him no matter what. So I don't know if you know what if you've never seen John Wick 1, 2, and 3, spoiler alert. Okay, so John Wick 1. So John Wick 1, John Wick is a hitman, all right? He is a hitman that works for this sort of Illuminati organization called the High Table. So they're like, I don't actually know what they do, but apparently they're like, it's like a league of assassins and power brokers. You know what I mean? You kind of don't get a sense of who they really are or what they really do. But he somehow got out. Okay? He got out of the game. You don't normally get out of the game. He gets married. He's living a great life. After all the killing and destruction he's done, his wife tragically dies of some sort of disease. They don't really say, okay? So his wife dies. After his wife dies, she knew she was going to die. She sends him a dog to, like, so he could still love something. All right? Now, cut to, he got a great car, a 66 Mustang, I believe it is. He out getting gas. And some sort of Russian, Yugoslavian, whatever sort of gangsters see him, and they're like, yo, how much for the car? And he's like, it's not for sale. So they somehow follow him, and they break into his house, beat him up, and kill his dog. So then John Wick is like, okay, so I'm trying to retire. My wife is dead, and you're going to kill the thing that reminds me of my wife that's keeping me grounded. People got to die. So, and then this dude who did this is the son of a mobster. And then when the mobster finds out who he stole this car from, the dad is furious because now he knows, because he's actually worked with John Wick before. He knows this dude is coming for his kid. So he is furious with his son because now it's like, this dude's gonna kill you, dummy. So now I gotta try to kill him before he kills you and me because of your dumbass decisions. Now John Wick starts it up. So they sent a hit team to John Wick's house. Of course, he killed all of them. You know what I mean? He killed all of them, right? So then, this is what John Wick does a lot. People call him. The guy calls him, John, can we talk? Blah, blah, blah. He just hangs up. You know what I mean? He's like, nah, dude, we ain't talking. Your kid, like, with that hang up, he says, you killed my dog, you stole my car, and you sent a hit team after me. Bro, it's on. So then the rest of the movie is John Wick trying to find this guy's son to kill him. And obviously, he eventually kills him, the father, and everybody in this guy's organization. So you're like, okay, that's John Wick 1. And you're like, damn. So then, shortly after, he gets a new dog, and this is John Wick 2. He get a new dog, all right? So then this guy who is a part of the high table, so he's like an uppity up. He wants to have a seat at the high table. His sister has a seat at the high table. So this is the guy, John Wick owes him a favor. He owes him something, okay? Because apparently John Wick, to get out of this business, he had to do something for this guy, right? And so now John Wick was out. So this guy has a marker on him being like, yo, I have this. You have to do this. That's part of their code. So the guy wants John Wick to kill his sister, okay? So, because if he kills the sister, he then will get a seat at the high table and be super powerful. So John Wick has to do it. He's a man of honor and code, and he knows if he does this, then he could be completely done with this business, and he is out. Of course, John Wick sets it up. Okay, so then the guy, he first says no, and then the guy blows up John Wick's house. So he has to do this. You know what I mean? He blows up the dude's house, you know what I mean, with a hit team and all this. And the guy's like, you got to go do this. All right, so then John Wick goes. He kills his sister. Kills all her men. Right? And then the brother decides, oh, okay, well, now we got to kill John Wick, you know, because he's like, I got to clear the loose ends. So then now John Wick is like, bro, you made me kill your sister. I'm out. You know who I am. And then the guy calls him. He's like, yo, John, what kind of man would I be if I didn't, honor my sister and by killing his. Then John Wick hangs up on him. And you know what that means. If I hang up on you, I'm coming for you, homie. So then that's the rest of that movie is John Wick trying to kill this dude. So then there's this place called the Continental. It's like a hotel that the hitmen, it's a part of their thing. And if you're on Continental grounds, if you're in this hotel, no business can be conducted. So and then if you do, you will be excommunicado. You will be like, everybody's after you. And of course, he has this big chase scene. He finds the brother. The brother escapes to the Continental, and then John Wick's in there with him. And then the dude's like, John, just let it go. Walk away. The manager's like, walk away, dude. John Wick's like, nah, I can't walk away. He said all in his mind, and he shoots the brother in there. Now all the hitmen are after him. Now they put like this bounty on him. So now every hitman in the whole world is after John Wick, right? I mean, it's crazy. You know what I mean? So the whole movie of John Wick 2 is him fighting and trying to escape. And he is fighting for his life this whole movie. At the end of the movie, he is like with his dog in New York, and he's limping because he just fought his ass off, and he's like limping, and and then that movie ends, and then John Wick 3 starts, and he's limping. John Wick 3 starts like this. He's limping, and then he fights the dude. From the beginning of the movie, he now fighting for another 2.5 hours. It's crazy, it's crazy. He's killing every hitman coming his way, right? And now he's trying to get to the leaders of the high table. He's trying to find them and be like, yo, dude, can you not kill me? Right? So he has to kill all his way. And then he meets up with Halle Berry. If you've never watched John Wick 3, I'm telling you, there is a sequence where Halle Berry and John Wick are trying to they're going to go talk to this high table hitman guy and to convince them to tell him where the leader of the high table is, right? And this guy's like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. And then he shoots her dog. And she's like, uh-oh. And then John Wick's like, oh no, don't, It's like a 20-minute kill fest of John Wick and Halle Berry's character trying to escape this compound. It is some of the most intense, graphic, kung fu, martial arts, gunplay scene in a movie ever. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And by the way, if you're worried about I'm ruining John Wick 1, 2, and 3 for you, look at my face. Go fuck yourself. These movies have been out for 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, if you haven't seen them, that's on you. So, anyways, so then, like, all right, so he escapes all that. Then he gets to the desert, and I don't know why these people out in the desert are the ones in charge. So John Wick's given a task now of he got to go kill one of his good friends, and then he could be brought back into the fold. You know, he decides not to do it. Then they team up. But then in the end, the dude turns on him. I mean, it's just, and now I'm just wondering what's going to happen in John Wick 4, because once again, his life is on the line. So I can't wait to watch John Wick 4. So guys, I'm going to watch John Wick 4 this weekend, and I will be back with my review. I love recapping movies because it's like, it's so fascinating. But John Wick might have killed 1,000 people in 1, 2, and 3. Like, no joke. Is that exaggeration? Maybe that's an exaggeration. But he kills at least 150 people a movie, right? So we talking about a good 400 or 500. Like, it's on Peacock right now. You can watch them all on Peacock. I mean, he kills a minimum 300, right? It's got to be a minimum 300. Even if we say it's like, it's crazy. So by the time John Wick 4 ends, I'm sure it might be up to like 700, right? Where are they getting all these henchmen? I mean, at a certain point, like when they having interviews, somebody's got to be like, so why you need more men? What's going on? They're like, yeah, we need some positions filled. Well, what happened? Well, you know, John Wick, you know, it's like, what? Is there dental in this shit? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's crazy. Anyways. It's just, I can't wait to see John Wick 4. That's why I was talking about this. All right, guys. I want to talk about, I didn't talk about it last week, but I want to talk about it this week, man. I was in a movie, and I've talked about this movie or some experiences I've had, but it's called Somewhere in Queens, starring Ray Romano. He starred, directed, he wrote it, started it, and directed it. And the last week I went to a soft LA premiere, a screening of the movie, and Ray was there, and a bunch of the stars were there. The stars are Ray Romano and Laurie Metcalf. Sebastian Maniscalco's in it. Some great young actors are in it. Man, I got to tell you, this is really a great movie. You know, and I'm not just saying it because I'm in it, because I had a very small part in it. But it was. When I watched it, I was like, "Oh, this is great! It's a great family film, you know." And it's just a really modern story that it is a story that has been told forever and ever, of just like the struggles of fathers and son, the father and son relationship, and how it carries on to when you were now a son and you become a father and you have your own demons. And it's just a great story of a man like trying to come to grips with what kind of father he is with his kid, if he's being selfish, if he's living through his kid. So his kid is a basketball player, and he's living through his kid, and it's sort of like loosely based on Ray's own story, because his son played basketball, and and it's like this story of of redemption, really, of like learning, just learning how to deal with the issues that happen in a family, man, where you see it's a flawed family. They don't necessarily get along. They don't like to talk about issues and how the issues fester. And, it's like, being in a long marriage and how do you keep the spark even when you're going through something, and then like, making choices as a dad that you think you're making that are good choices. You think you're doing what's best for your kid, but turns out you're just doing it for yourself. And, you know, it's about this really great Italian family and their struggles of you know what I mean, and it's oh man, I'm not even doing it justice, but it's a really great movie. You know, it's a really good throwback movie. It's not a superhero movie. It's not a crazy wacky comedy either. It's just a great story. You're gonna cry, you're gonna laugh, and Ray Romano is just perfect in this. You know, he's a really great actor. Like, I didn't even realize he was this great of an actor. You know, because you really follow him through the story, and you know, the laughs come at times that you don't think, oh, I don't know if you're supposed to laugh at that time, but you really relate. Like, you're going to really relate to these people, and there's going to be someone in this family or that you'll be like, oh, that's me. Everyone's great in it. Laurie Metcalf is just fantastic. If you don't know who that is, she is. Sadie Stanley, this young actress, Disney star that's turning into she is phenomenal in this. Shout out to Sadie. There's this new kid that is in the movie what's his name again? Jacob Ward plays his son. Brand new actor. He is fantastic in this, you know, because it's like, you know, it's about like this old school Italian family, and they don't know how to deal with like issues. They don't deal with the way, say, you normally deal with things like now, where people say, yeah, you go talk to someone about this, or no, they're the kind of people like, we can handle this ourselves. You don't need to go talk to anybody. That kind of attitude. But so Jacob Ward's this basketball player, and he doesn't have great confidence, you know? So he gets this girlfriend, and then like the relationship, you know, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it's just like, it's just about all of that, man. And it wraps up really nicely. And I'm telling you, it's like a sweet story that you're going to love to watch. Like it's a great watch. And like when you're in the theater watching it, you know, you feel like you went through something with all these people. You know, you're watching it and you're just like, oh, you're laughing and crying. There's a good 2 or 3 cry moments in this that I thought, oh, this is great. You know, especially if you're like, you know, if you have a relationship with your father, whether even if it's good or bad. Because that's me. Like, anytime I watch something where it's like mother-son stuff, that always gets me. So anyways, I just want to give a shout out to Ray Romano. This was a great movie, and I hope he continues to do more directing, because it was a really great movie. So check that out. Beef, man. Let's talk about Beef, right? This is a great show. Okay, listen, this is a weird show, but I freaking love it. Beef. It's starring Steven Yeun and Ali Wong and Joseph Lee. Man, you know, Beef is 2 people let a road rage incident burrow into their heads and slowly consume their every thought and action. Yeah, that's a weird description of it, but that's also a great description of it. This freaking show, you know, Ali Wong and Steve, they have this incident where, like, you know, someone's honking at someone and he chases her down, and then their lives start getting intertwined. And the show is so bizarre because you're following each of these flawed human beings and what's going on in their lives. One you would think is like super successful and the things that she's got going in her marriage and her kid, but then you could see like the weird relationships that's going on in her life and what she's trying to do, and you can see the unhappiness, right? And then this other guy who is not doing as well, got a criminal cousin, you know, he's got a struggling business, but he's trying to please his parents who are back in Korea. He's trying to bring them here, and you can see his life and how they've now infected each other, and they're obsessed with each other in the most terrible way. But it's just a fascinating watch. I started watching it, and I'm almost in 2 days now. I have 2 more episodes, and I'll be done. But it's a great show, man. And they are doing, like, acting wise, they are. I can't wait to see Ali at the Comedy Store. I haven't seen her since I started watching this, but at the moment I see her, I'm gonna let her know it's a really great show. You know, it's a really great show, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I hope it's not one of these like one season things and then they cancel it. But man, it's just, you know, I'm gonna tell you how good the show is, okay? Because, and even though what I'm about to say is contradictory to the point I'm making, but I'm just doing a meta. I'm looking at it in an overall view. That's why on the podcast, because this is how I discuss things. But this is an example of the pendulum switching and the world changing a little bit, because this is a predominantly Asian. Most of the actors in this show are Asian, and it doesn't matter. Not that it ever should matter, but what I'm saying is they have found they're doing such a great job. The story is so great. The shout out to Jake, the director and one of the producers. He actually was a director on many episodes of I'm Dying Up Here. So he came to the Comedy Store with Ali one time, and I saw him, and I was like, oh, you guys are working together. That's great. Anyways, you really get lost in it. And I caught myself because I'm a comic, and sometimes I'm in my head so I can like get an overview and be like, ooh, you know what? I'm not even thinking about that, even though I am now thinking about it, but I'm only thinking about it to talk about it because of how the world has been in the past like 5 years, you know, how this like push for diversity, inclusion, and all this stuff, and it makes you aware of it. And so then you kind of like be like, oh, I know why they're doing this type of thing. This show is like, the pendulum is now swinging towards where it's like, we're not thinking about it. This show is an example of what I like to talk about. Artistic integrity. This show has a lot of artistic integrity, and the people in the show are great. And so regardless of whatever they are, you can watch it and just be like, oh, I can relate to this guy regardless of his age, race, or nationality or whatever, because it's a human story, you know? It's a human story, and I appreciate this story. I just appreciate like how dark it is, and how like, you know, you watch them doing these things, and you go, oh man, would I do that? Have I felt like that? And then you see the depression and pain that they're going through as characters, and how they're trying to get over the hump, and then something else happens, and it's just like how they deal with it, and they're making terrible choices. And I love it. So, Beef, great show. Highly recommend it. It's getting 7 woo-woos. Woo, 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 woo. That's probably like 8 or 9, really. But my point is, I really enjoy the show. So, if you haven't watched it, make sure you check it out. It's a good show. Good ass show. All right, guys. Okay, so some more. Wow, time is flying today. Yeah, I'm just yip yapping. I don't even feel like I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. But whatever, it is what it is. That's why I like doing the show. All right, some news and notes of some nonsense that's going on. In fat news, I haven't done fat news in a while, but that's not the right one. Here we go. In fat news, McDonald's is changing its burger recipe. Finally. It's like, what? Dude, McDonald's, who you think you are, man? You changing your burger recipe like that's, no one cares. You think there's going to be a long line outside the McDonald's like, oh, yo, you hear what McDonald's is doing? They changed that burger recipe. Like, nobody, like, dude, your burger recipe could be hot garbage, and people are still going to go to McDonald's. It's like an institution in our head now. It's over billions of people served. Like, even when you don't want McDonald's, you go get McDonald's. You know, sometimes you're just like, oh, man, McDonald's is, like, good for, like, a fast breakfast. McDonald's is like, you know, it's late, and you're like, there's nothing open. Let me go to McDonald's. It's just like the name you know. You know what I mean? So they changing their recipe. And it's so funny, this story about how they trying to like hype it up. Like look at this stuff. Softer, pillowy buns. A new and improved melted cheese that the chain says will make you want to savor every last bite of the wrapper. Yeah, because the wrapper and the burger, you can't even tell the difference. Burger patties, which will feature a juicier caramelized flavor. Doesn't make, like, what? Actually, if I'm being honest, that don't sound bad. Guess where I'm going after this, y'all. Might go get me some Donalds. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. McDonald's, man, you just, who do y'all think you are, man? Like, I'm surprised they don't have like a head chef that comes out. You know, he's dressed in a clown outfit. He's all like, yeah. He's like, today I'm going to take a more juicier patty and the creamier cheese. Like, you talking about McDonald's? We talking about McDonald's? It's like, dude, shut up, man. Oh, man. All right, in another story, not fat news, but in another story, this is some weird story for all you potheads. This is interesting, and this is just about like lack of government oversight. You know, this is what I found this to be a really interesting story. Uncomfortably high, it's called. Testing reveals inflated THC potency on retail cannabis labels. Why is that important? So all you potheads out there, if you smoke weed and you buy weed. Look, I'm not a weed smoker, but I shouldn't even say that anymore. I mean, I have this Dom pen, which is like a 1,4 mix of THC and CBD. So, I every now and then for like relaxation purposes, I'll smash a hit. But it's like I can't do like weed. I just can't. But what they're talking about in this story, I'll just paraphrase for you because that doesn't look good on the screen. But so apparently, how you decide how much you charge for cannabis is based off the potency. So like the more potent the THC level is in the product, the more money you can spend, the more money you could charge, right? So apparently there's no real standardized testing for THC. So apparently you could just say whatever you want. There's no government organization that's like, okay, we're coming in to test the THC levels of this. So, it's just like, it feels like a drug movie, where the drug dealer's like, yeah, cut that with baby powder or baby formula. And so we're not going to sell as much drugs. Or like any bar that it sells alcohol, you get in I don't drink alcohol, but I just know from what people say about you go to some bars and you're like, oh, the drinks aren't strong at all. Or then you maybe go to another bar and you have a drink about that big, a little shot or whatever, and a little of whatever kind of drink, and you're like, oh wow, this is really strong. So it just depends on where you go, right? And so with the THC, so apparently these places are inflating their numbers. Feels illegal to me. So they're telling you. And it turns out from this story, from this test, and, I don't know how accurate everything is, but they're saying in this story that in some cases it's like 15 to 30% less than what they're saying. I mean, that's a lot. And then they're charging what they would. So apparently there's some chart for, if it's this strong, we're charging this amount. And it's not really that strong, but they're still charging that amount. So I don't know. So you guys really need to if you're a weed smoker and you buy from a certain place, I think it's important to ask hey, how strong is this really in comparison? And is it really that strong? Because you might find that you're probably paying, so much money. And I get it too, because it's what a taxed business that must be. Anytime you make something like that legal, the chain of money is cut by probably 40% maybe, because the government's taking their cut. The taxes on that is probably higher. Now they have to they paying rent for a place and they paying employees and they got to have employment tax and all this stuff, as opposed to just what I mean, selling on a street corner. With Nino Brown selling out of a you know what I mean, selling out of an apartment building, whatever it is. So I don't know. And I see somebody in the chat saying they're setting themselves up for a lawsuit. I just don't know if that's true because you can't, like, there's no real, like, how you going to prove it? And I don't know if you're going to be able to, like, you're going to have to buy weed from a place, take it someplace, get it tested. Maybe somebody will do this. Maybe there will be a lawsuit, but that person, whoever does that lawsuit, they're not going to win. But they will usher in an era where the government might have to step in and be like, okay, you have to charge, you have to like, this is what you have to like test it. You have to put the real numbers out, like the calories in food in California. You go to a place and there's a law. California law is you have to show the calorie content. So imagine if like they weren't showing the correct calorie content, but calories is something that's easily looked up. So that's why they have to be real with it. Because if you remember, I don't know if anybody can honestly remember pre-calorie, before they were showing calories on stuff, everything was huge, man. You go to Starbucks and it'd be like a big piece of coffee cake, a big ass scone, and they charge whatever they charge for it. And then they had to put the calorie content on there. And then we started to have this sort of fake health consciousness, right? And then like they were like, they had to put the calories. And you go into Starbucks and you're like, what? This scone is 1,700 calories? It was mind blowing. And so then Starbucks was like, uh-oh. So they had to cut everything in half. They started selling you smaller things and offering smaller sizes of things because the calories was just like crazy. And that was the idea of being health conscious. So I think some kind of law like that is going to have to be in place. But this isn't something you could just look up and test. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to do it. It also reminds me of taxis. I know this is a crazy jump, but in Vegas, for instance, this was a thing. You get in a taxi, right, before. And let's say you get in a taxi, like you're at a hotel and you get in a taxi and you say, take me to the airport. They always used to say this. How would you like to go? You want me to take the freeway or you want me to take because they know they're going to take you on some ridiculous roundabout route and you're going to end up paying more money. Like, why is this cab ride $35? I could see the airport from here, right? Vegas passed a law. They passed this law, this ordinance or whatever you call it, where it is a set price from the airport to certain places on the strip. Let me tell you something. You get in a cab now when you go to Vegas, pap, 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 pap. That shit is quick as hell. You get right to where you need to go. And I loved it. I used to sit in the car. I used to talk so much smack. When that first happened, I was like, oh, yeah. I look at the taxi guy. Oh, yeah, all of a sudden y'all going right to the thing now, huh? Every taxi cab driver would be like, with a look on their face like, man, shut up. They do it in LA now too, actually. This is why in LA, taking a taxi is cheaper than an Uber. It's a little known, it's like a little under the table secret. I'm telling you guys right now. If you're at the airport, depending on where you live, you need to check the taxi first, man. Because they're like, they can only charge this amount going from LA to downtown now. And so there's certain mileage things now, depending on where you live, where you'll get into a taxi, like where I live compared to the airport. I'm just speaking for me because I'm like 15 minutes away from the airport. I live on the west side of LA. So, but still, sometimes there would be times, especially after COVID, you look in the thing and you'd be like, oh man, $70. It's like a $70 Uber. I get into a cab, it's $19. It's just, and I was like, uh-oh. So cabs are back. But then you go to other cities. Like I went to, what city was I in? I want to say it was Austin. It was either Austin or Dallas. I think I was in Dallas. And so I thought the same thing. I got into this cab and the cab was, and I go, why is it so expensive? Because they don't have that. They could do whatever they want. So when there's no oversight, when there's no one looking at a business like that, that's what happens. So anyways, to get back to it, the weed business is such a new business that, people are always going to find a way to like get over on you, you know, and that's what they're doing. So I think that, you know, the weed companies are out here taking advantage, man. And so just be on the lookout, y'all. You know, if you're a weed smoker, be careful because they trying to get you, man. They out here trying to get you. So anyways, I hope I talked about everything that I said I was going to talk about. So make sure, like I said, you go check out Somewhere in Queens. The movie opens up, I believe, this Friday. Is this Friday the 24th? Yeah, I believe the movie opens up this week. They just had a premiere in New York. I couldn't go. I wanted to go, but I couldn't go. And shout out again to Ray Romano because he talked about me on Mark Maron's podcast. He had a little moment because I've told this story on my podcast how he told me I was the first choice, but when I went into the dressing room, the clothes had a different actor's name on them. And I was like, what? I thought I was the first choice. And so I went to him on set and I was like, am I the first choice? And then he just was like, dude, no, it was like a New York hire, blah, blah, blah. But I was just teasing, you know what I mean? I just thought it was funny. And I'm an asshole, right? So, you know what I mean? I probably shouldn't have done that because shout out to Ray for giving me the work. And then when I went to the screening in LA, you know, I wasn't sitting on the panel because I have a very small part, but Ray was like, I want to shout out some other actors that are here. Erik Griffin is here, you know what I mean? And, you know, he's actually a really great dude. You know, I've worked with some really great people. I've worked with some giants, man, you know, to like be on Jim Carrey's show and to like interact with him. You know what I mean? Like have conversations and like, you know, I had these great pictures with him. When I look at those pictures and I think about it and I go, oh my God, this is Jim Carrey. I have a picture with Jim Carrey where we're head to head, man. It's, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff I remember. I worked with Adam Sandler just to have a scene with Adam Sandler. So to get to the dude's question who asked me earlier with the super chat, and thank you for the super chat, working with Adam Sandler was great. Like the dude's he's a movie making savant. He knows every little detail of what's going on the set. He knows what every job does, and he just knows how to tell a story. And he's got that thing too. He's just got that thing where he's just funny. You know what I mean? He's just present and funny and genuine. But I hate him because he didn't put me in part 2. Why am I not in part 2, Sandler? Huh? You know what I mean? Hope that movie flops. Anyway, so shout out to that. And also I've worked with Tim Allen. Like I've done road gigs with Tim Allen. He's a great dude to be around, you know? So I was like, damn, I've worked with Tim Allen. You know, it's like, you know what I mean? I like my little career I've had. You know what I mean? I like my little career, y'all. All right, y'all. Let's see. It's that time again. Let me see what beat I'm gonna pick today. You know, I've all these great beats, man, that people send. That people have sent me over the years of doing Riffin with Griffin. If you're a producer and you want to send me a beat for the dad stuff, you know, I'm a terrible rapper. You know what I mean? But whatever, it's just fun. That's why I do it. So you know what time it is, y'all. Yeah, it's that rap recap. Eric G rapping on that beat that slaps. What we talk about this week while you move your feet. Gotta watch John Wick 4. I'ma in the dough, watching him slap, kicking and shooting, pat. NBA playoffs, everybody be going off. Suspended Draymond Green, that boy is lean. Shouldn't have stepped on that dude. That shit was rude. Now we back. Eric G, you get slapped. Woo, pat. Somewhere in Queens, go see it. You gotta be it. The rap recap. This is the rap recap. Woo! Bouncing on the beat, slapping those feet, slapping those cheeks. This the booty pop. Booty pop, booty pop. Booty pop. a new recipe. I can't wait to see. You know who I be. Big old fat Eric G. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin, and I'll see you next week. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications. I'll be on Twitch. I'll be on Twitch shortly, so check me out there. If you want to support, be a Patreon member, and check me out in the Louisville Comedy Club, coming to you tomorrow. So make sure if you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, I can't wait to see you. And thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin.